just love this intro music. That's the good stuff. Makes you just feel good about yourself. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of SoTellUs Time. We are so excited to be with you. We're excited to be back with you. I think you guys have all noticed that actually we missed a couple weeks and we have to apologize for that. We are sorry that we missed you guys. We definitely were missing you and wanted to be here with you. Unfortunately, I'll share with you what happened, a little bit of our experience, because it goes right along with what we're talking about in today's episode. Today, we're going to be talking about be intentional. So what happened, and the reason that we weren't here for a couple of weeks, was I actually ended up getting COVID and pneumonia, and I landed in the hospital.
Yep.
And luckily, Troy and I had prepared and knew that the end of the year was going to be coming fast and there was going to be a lot going on. So we had pre-made some episodes. So it actually took you guys through the new year, even though I was actually fighting COVID and pneumonia for a month. It was a month that I have been gone. I've been out of the office for a month. It was about 10 days to 2 weeks of it was about 10 days of COVID, which sucked with the body aches. And if any of you have had it, you know, the body aches. And one day I got sick and then another day I had vertigo and just kind of, you know, just really, it was crummy. It was definitely crummy. And then unfortunately, I ended up having pneumonia, and that took place and really got me good. And I ended up in the hospital, and I had to spend 4 days in the hospital. And I can tell you that the hospitals are not somewhere you want to be right now.
Definitely not.
This is not a place honestly, the hospital is the place that people go to die. Although I didn't die, right?
Yeah.
So it was a scary time. And so they had to work on me, and I was crashing a couple times. And anyways, it was pretty crazy. It was touch and go for a little bit, but I'm back. I'm healthy. I've almost kicked this pneumonia, and we are just excited. We're just ecstatic. So happy to be here with you guys today. And so that rolls into coming out of the hospital, experiencing what I experienced, and you know, having it be touch and go, and being able to, you know, reflect upon what's important in life, but still understanding that we have to live life.
Right.
We live in the world. We can't just say, oh, yay, I'm just going to live life and only focus on my family and what matters most, because then you're going to go broke and then you're going to, you know, not be loving life. And that's for sure. So there's got to be a balance to life. And how you can do this is through being intentional. And what that means is when you have something to do, when you, for instance, are on the phone with a friend, be present. Be on that call with that friend, or roll that over to business. If you're on a call with an affiliate or a client, right? Prospective client, be present with them. I mean, I think we all understand that as business owners, 90% of the time we're going 200 miles an hour, right? And we're just like a little bit here and a little bit here, and the attention that we're giving is just like spread super thin. And Troy's going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But what you need to do is be intentional with what you're doing in the moment. So with that client, instead of thinking about what's going to be coming next or lunch or whatever, be in the moment with that client and give them 100% of your time, right? So, okay, so that's what we're talking about with being intentional today. Now, Troy has some ideas and some for you guys as far as focusing and being present in the moment, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like just to kind of reiterate a little bit about what you talked about, like when Trevor was in the hospital and sick for that time, I had to really be focused on what was most important in the business and making sure that I was giving my attention to what was the most important things.
Well, hey, Troy, really quick. In fact, let's just let it rain when it pours, right? And let's just give them the full scope of what's going on, because this is real life, guys. This is real business. We're in it with you. We are living life every day, and I feel like a lot of you will relate to this. Not only did I go into the hospital, and it was really, honestly, very touch and go for a long time. I mean, to the degree of I was coughing up blood, guys, and it was my oxygen levels were plummeting, and I was just in and out of lucidness, and it was really a crazy time. So Troy's dealing with that personally. His brother is in the hospital dying. They wanted to put me on a ventilator. And so I'm in the hospital dying pretty much what we thought. And Troy's dealing with all of that. In the meantime, we have an employee who decides that they're going to start stealing clients from us.
Yeah.
Now Troy's got to deal with that. We're getting emails from our clients saying, hey, just so you know, one of your employees has been emailing me and trying to get business on the side, and we found out that was the case in multiple situations. And so luckily we have really good clients and everything, but now Troy's dealing with that, an employee that is trying to steal clients from us. And then we have another employee that has to take a leave of absence, and then the normal day to day problems of this or that, or hey, this, change that, or whatever. So you can imagine all the weight that was on Troy, and then having less help even in me, so I could share that weight with him. And then having our team, a couple of our members, one of them be a jerk and steal from us, right? And we had to just get rid of him. And then, another one. And so it's like our team got smaller. I mean, that's a lot of weight on Troy. And I think you guys can relate to this. I'm sure you guys have had it. When it freaking rains, it freaking pours, man.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to focus. Just like Trevor was focusing on getting better and overcoming what he was going through, right? I was focusing on, okay, what do I need to do to keep everything moving forward? And, and we both came back with these realizations.
Yes.
So that's what we want to share with you today. And one of them is, really focus on the project. Like Trevor said, if you're working on a project, if you're working with a client, give them 100% while you're working on it. Right? Don't split it. It's really funny because I actually was reading an article on this guy. It was talking about, it was an article. It was an episode, a show I was watching, and they were talking about the human brain. And he's like, "Oh, I'm a multitasker." He was a super successful CEO, and he's like, "I can multitask, and I'm amazing at it. I'm probably one of the best in the world." And then they actually did these tests, and they found out that he can't multitask hardly at all. Right? He's just what he realized was he's just really good at switching his focus.
Yeah.
Quickly between different things, but he's not actually multitasking.
Yeah.
Right? He's giving 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, just like that. Right? It's not the same thing. So if you really want to be successful, focus and give 100% at what you're doing right then, get it done, right? And then shift your focus to something else.
Yes.
Absolutely. Like Trevor said, if you're on the phone with a client, give them 100%. When you're done with the client, boom, move on to the next thing. Get it done.
Yeah.
The other thing is don't spread yourself too thin. Mm-hmm. And as business owners, we always do this. We think that it's better to give 5% to 20 different things versus 100% to one thing.
That's right.
Right? And it's like, again, we fall into that trap of like, well, I'm multitasking. I'm getting all this stuff done.
Yeah.
No, you're not being more productive. You're being less productive.
Yeah. And if you think about that too, in life, think about your life, not even just like the projects you have at work, but then your home life, right?
Yes.
So you've got your spouse, you've got your children, you've got sports, you've got friends, you've got activities, you've got, all sorts of things. We're spread so thin. And what are we doing? Sometimes prior to this experience, because it literally changed my whole life and the direction that I'm going and what I'm doing and how I do things, because I'm living very intentionally. When I was laying there coughing up blood and they're trying to call the rapid response team and get me on a ventilator and all this stuff, and this lady's pounding on my back and she's screaming in my face, breathe, fight, and I'm thinking, these are my last moments. These are my last moments. I wasn't thinking about all these little things that I, running around and living this life, running around like a chicken with my head cut off, it was very specific what I thought about and what I wanted and what I, was sad that I thought I was going to be losing. And so it really changed the course. And so think about this, is that like you're giving, it's not just like in business, you're giving 5% of this and 5% of this and 5% of that, and you are, but you're also then going home and giving 5% to your wife and 5% to your kids and, and 5% to the lawn and 5% to reality, right? And so you're really just you're spread so thin, you're just not going to find success in personal or professional. You're just not.
Exactly. And we need to apply all of this to personal, professional, everything, right?
Yeah.
That's the key, because I noticed during this time when all of this stuff was going on, I'm not a big social media person, but I'll jump on Instagram once or twice a day and I would just look at what was going on. And I realized that during all of this stuff going on, I never got on social media.
Yeah.
And It was great. Like when it was all said and done, I was like, I go to pick up my phone and to look at Instagram and I'm like, why? Like, do I really need to do this? Is this really that important?
And that's what's so funny, Troy, is going through this. I mean, it started, guys, around right around Christmas, and it didn't end until today is my first day back at the office. And I mean, I still am having a hard time breathing, and it's the pneumonia, and I'm getting better, and it's fine, and I'm on like tons of medication, so don't worry. I'm gonna live and I'm gonna survive this. But I missed the new year. I was in the hospital and I missed the new year. I missed all the election crap that went on in our country. There's a lot of turmoil in our country right now. And guess what? I missed it. And honestly, that's one of the, besides my new focus in life, that is one of the best things that came out of this, is that I don't have the bandwidth anymore for the stuff that doesn't matter. And when I took it out of my life got better. And I found that I had more time to focus on the things that did matter. So no more social media crap about politics coming out of me. No more of this stuff that doesn't matter, that I don't have control over anyways. And I have found I actually have a lot more time. I was shocked at how much time and energies I was spending on things that didn't matter, which now has allowed me to be intentional. Now that I'm being intentional and present, I have so much more time for my wife, for my kids, to come into work and say, these are the tasks that I'm going to accomplish today, and I'm going to give them 100%. And then when I leave, I feel good about my day, and I go home, and then now I give 100% to my wife and to my kids and to football and to club volleyball and all these, and my other daughter's dance and all this stuff. And yet I am feeling like I'm succeeding at all of these things.
Exactly.
So I'm just trying to share with you guys so that you can kind of get a perspective of where we're coming from. Because I think if you guys could do this in your lives, you will see more success in your business, in your marriage, and in your family, which is what we want.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things, instead of giving 5% to 20 different things, focus on the 3 top things that you need to accomplish. And get those done.
That's right.
Right? Okay, again, balance. Trevor just talked about balance. So let's talk about balance for a second. Balance your projects between work, relationship, and personal goals. Right? If you're too heavily focused in one of those areas, it's going to affect not only your life, but it's going to affect whatever you're doing, right? So for example, if I'm super heavily focused on my work and that's all I'm focused on, well, then my relationships are going to suffer, right? And my personal goals and getting things accomplished and feeling successful outside of work are going to suffer. So eventually, I might be getting a lot done at work right now, but eventually I'm going to burn out.
Totally.
Right? Because I don't have any balance in my life.
You're going to have a heart attack by the freaking age of 49.
Yeah, right? And I'm going to be less productive. When it's all said and done, I'm going to be less productive because I'm burned out because I don't have any balance there. So you need to focus, on one area, if you focus on one area, you're going to burn out and it's going to be really, really bad. So instead, you need to find ways that you can, focus on these different areas.
Compartmentalize.
Yes.
Each thing and again, we keep saying the word be intentional. It means be present, be focused on what you're working on.
Yes.
And what's cool is it's like, people will feel it and it affects them, and they realize that like you're giving 100%. And so it actually starts to help other people, and it will help your business as well as you focus on these little things. It's like the conversation you're having is the most important thing that's happening at that very moment.
Right.
This is how you guys do it. When I'm working on a project, that is the most important thing that is happening at that moment. And I'm going to work on it until I can finish it or get to a point where I'm done, and I'm going to focus on it. And then I'm going to get the heck out of here, and I'm going to go, and the most important thing that's happening now is I'm with my wife and my kids. And I'm going to give them 110% of me, and I'm going to be focused and intentional with them. And that's the most important thing happening. And they're going to feel it, and they're going to know it. Right? And then I move on to the next thing and the next thing. And so anyways, it's like amazing at how much time you gain back. You guys will really feel like, oh my gosh, this is like, I gained time, because all of a sudden I'm not on Facebook for, an hour, which I didn't mean to be, or 3 hours, which I didn't mean to be, distracted because I got on there and all of a sudden political crap or whatever else is going on in the world. And I was like 3 hours later, holy crap, I could have been intentional at that time and accomplished a lot of good things.
And I'll actually give you a really good example of this. So I've been trying to be very intentional in what I'm doing and where I'm focusing my time. And so I decided I need to make sure that I'm focusing time on my family and my family individually.
Yeah.
So I came up with this idea of date day. And what it is this last Saturday, I decided that I'm going to do a date with every member of my family on that day.
Cool.
So my daughter, my 11-year-old, I said to her on Monday, I said, there was a movie that she wanted to watch that was just like, on
TV.
Netflix or whatever, on TV. And I said, oh, we should watch that movie together. She's like, yeah, we should. I said, okay, great. I'm putting it in my calendar right now.
Yeah.
Saturday from 10 to noon, we are having a movie date.
That's awesome.
And so I did that. So then on Tuesday, she's like, hey, just a couple more days, 4 more days till our date. And then my wife tells me on Wednesday night, she's like, oh, Brinley let me know about your date. And she let me know that between 10 and noon that I need to leave. I need to go somewhere else. I can go to my room. I can read a book, but I can't interrupt the date. Every single day, she reminded me, okay, there's only 24 hours left until our date, Dad. I mean, it was so important to her. And
Think
it's
how
not like
special she felt.
Yeah.
She felt so special.
Yeah.
She knew that she was important to you.
Yeah, and it's not like her and I don't watch movies together all the time. But because I made it intentional and I focused on her, right? And I set that time aside for her, it was huge. So once a month we're doing the date day, and I'm doing it. The funny thing is after that I said to my son, I said, hey Parker, I said, how about we go out to lunch together, just you and me? And we did a lunch date. And it was hilarious because he was asking my wife, he's like, did I do something wrong? Am I in trouble? And Big Jean's like, I don't know. And she's like,
you?
She's like, well, Dad's taking me out to lunch by myself. That can't be a good idea.
Oh,
or that can't be good. And I'm
awesome.
like, it was but it made me realize, geez, I have not been intentional in that relationship, right?
Yes.
Again, him and I do stuff every single day together.
That's awesome. And they feel so special once they realize, once Parker calmed down and wasn't like, am I in trouble? They feel special. And that's the thing is, even with your employees, right?
Yes.
When your employee walks into your office, are you like, what? What did you say? Or could you stop for 3 seconds, look at them, pay attention to what they're doing, and then, help them through whatever it is that they need. And then also show some appreciation for them too in that same moment. Let them know that they're important. That in that moment when they need you, that's the most important thing happening at that second.
Yeah, and I'm horrible at that because I think I'm multitasking. I'm writing an email like this because I don't have to look at the keyboard when I'm writing it. So I'm writing the email and I'm looking at them and they're like, oh, Troy doesn't even care. But so I need to be better at that.
Well, I would like to throw one extra thing into this. I would like to throw one more thing in because with all the turmoil going on in our world today, especially within our country and the divide and the anger and the hatred and, it's so sad. I would like to throw into this with being intentional. Also, expressing gratitude.
Yes.
Expressing gratitude. People deserve to know they're doing a good job. People will work harder for you if you appreciate them. Friends, family, clients, your employees, everybody. It's amazing. Since coming out of the hospital, my goal was to just be very positive and very grateful for every person that comes in to contact with me. Okay. And you might think that's insane. How can you do that? It's literally like 3 seconds of being kind. It's being kind. From the Walmart worker to the Subway gal that gives me my sandwich to my own employees, my children, my business partner, my coworkers, my affiliates, everybody that I have talked to. With being intentional, I've also started to express gratitude to them. Thank you so much for helping me. I literally had a Walmart worker come up and start checking out for me. I'm not quite sure why, but he came up to the self-checkout thing and he's like, oh, let me help you with this. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. This is great. You got great service. You go above and beyond. And this guy starts beaming from ear to ear. He's having I'm sure that people probably aren't that nice to him right now, and you can't even see people's faces, but because we're all wearing masks and everything. But and then as he helped me check out, and then I started to pay, and he walked over the thing. And then as I walked by, I just said, thank you so much for your help. That was great, above and beyond. And he just was like, you are so welcome. Oh my goodness. He was so ecstatic about it. That was amazing. It took me 3 seconds to say it to him. And yet it spread some cheer that then he's going to spread a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And hey, you never know. If we all start doing it, we might be able to change the direction that this country's going, because everybody's a bunch of punks right now.
Absolutely.
Online. So, all right, Troy, why don't you go over our homework?
All right. So the homework this week is we want you to evaluate where you are focusing your time and energy right now in your life, both work, personal goals, relationships, everything.
Yeah.
And prioritize what is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And then when you are doing that task or doing that thing, give 100%.
Absolutely.
So, and then just see the difference that it makes in your life. It's made a huge difference for me. It's made a huge difference for Trevor.
Changed me.
So go out there and have a great week by doing this.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us. You know that we love you. I hope that we tell you that enough. This is just such a fun thing for us to do. It's not to make money. It's to spend time with you guys, help share our knowledge, our experiences, and make a connection with you guys. And then hopefully help you to grow your businesses. That's the sole purpose of SoTellUs Time. So I hope you guys feel that. I hope you guys know that. You are appreciated. And we really, truly love it when you share us. Share our podcast with other people. Let's grow this. Let's get it even bigger. And it is getting, it's crazy. It's so exciting. December was one of our biggest months with thousands of downloads, and it was so awesome to see. So thank you guys so much. We will see you on the next episode of SoTellUs Time.